we can run the table. I really do.
Giants looking for a stop. They're going to air it out. Rodgers does this better than anybody. End zone, Cobb, touchdown! Unbelievable! This to send the Packers into the NFC Championship game. It is good! The Packers are moving on! Aaron Rodgers has done it again!
Grassi Posse Packer Nation. Welcome to another episode of Packcast, the podcast where you don't have to be a Packers fan. But it sure does help. I'm your host. I'm your host, Tom Grassi, and the Packers were defeated in a very uneventful game. 23-10. They lost to the Minnesota Vikings. A couple notable injuries. Kevin King and Morgan Burnett didn't play today. Montgomery left in the middle of the game. Brian Bulaga is in for a concussion, and David Bakhtiari hurt his hamstring again. But other than that, there's really no injuries to talk about. So yeah, Aaron Rodgers has broken his collarbone again. The same collarbone. I mean, you only have one, so it's the same one as 2013, which caused him to miss 7 games in 2013. And there's really only two options here. In that, one, he gets season-ending surgery, or two, he lets it heal, in which he could still miss the rest of the season, depending on what the Packers are able to do and if they're able to make it into the postseason. But before we get to Aaron Rodgers, let's break down the game a little bit like we always do. Aaron Jones had about 50 yards again. He looked pretty good. Jordy Nelson, 6 for 60. Devontae Adams, 4 for 47. A little bit more than that. Scored a touchdown again. That was nice. And Brett Huntley went through about 150 yards, a TD, and 3 interceptions. They could have had another touchdown if Ty Montgomery could have caught the ball, but that wasn't going to happen. When it comes to Brett Hundley, 2 years ago, he looked amazing in preseason and had like the most yardage out of any quarterback in preseason, looked incredible. But the guy hasn't had any playing time because he's always played behind Aaron Rodgers. And so now that he is going to be the starter for the immediate future, I think that Brett Hundley will look better as time goes on. Of course, he's going to be getting some practice in, and he'll look better in the coming weeks. He will also have a bye week coming up after they play the Saints next week. So I have faith in Brett Hundley. The he has a lot to learn, but we'll also we'll get to see him in action and see him, not with the scout team, but with the first team. And so that being said, Joe Callahan right now is his backup, and this entire week and coming weeks are going to be surrounded by who do the Packers pick up for quarterback? Do they go after a veteran guy? And you're going to see every name under the sun thrown out there. The announcers were joking about getting Tony Romo, which, you know what, at this, I wouldn't necessarily be against, and it would just be amazing too if they just went to the NFC Championship game and beat the Dallas Cowboys with Tony Romo. Just for the irony, I would thoroughly enjoy that. But there's your Tony Romos, and there's potential there. Matt Flynn, he's a free agent, right? Can't go wrong with Flynn. We did it in 2013, and we were able to win some games, so that's potential as well. And then, of course, Colin Kaepernick's name is going to be thrown around as well. So I think these next coming weeks, depending on if he's going to miss the rest of the season, is going to determine who we're going to get I already had people reaching out and saying that we're going to try and trade for Garoppolo. I don't think that's going to happen. The Packers aren't going to be giving up a ton. They're not going to be giving up draft picks. They're not going to be giving up major money for these guys. But I mean, looking at where we are right now, we need to get healthy, and that's not even just Aaron Rodgers. And we've been talking about all these injuries throughout the entire year, and it's still early. But we were always able to pull one out or at least be competitive because of Aaron Rodgers. As long as Aaron Rodgers was on the field, as long as he wasn't the guy that was injured, we were okay. But now he's the guy that's injured. And so now things are different. And this is going to be a different team. They're going to stack the box. Defenses are going to stack the box more. They're going to dare us to throw the ball, and Hundley's got to be ready to do that. And if it's not Hundley, whoever we wind up bringing in needs to be able to do that. They have the weapons surrounding them. They have Nelson. They have Cobb. They have Adams. And so it's kind of just we need to wait and see. The Packers were going down like flies today, though, and I know Rodgers was saying a couple weeks ago that this team is like united. They would stand arm in arm. It looked like they were united in solidarity for Aaron as well, because they just kept on getting injured. So this team, we need the bye week really, really bad. I'm not looking forward to next week against the Saints in any way, shape, or form. They spanked the ever-loving hell out of the Lions, which I love. But, I mean, that's a highly powered offense. And the way that our defense is playing, in addition to the lack of offensive production we had this week, it could be a blowout. And I mean, I think what hurts the most is right now we're 4-2. We're tied at the top of the division with the Minnesota Vikings. And I have to say, like, the division is still wide open. The Bears aren't playing well. The Lions are getting spanked. And the Vikings, they're the only ones I feel at the moment can run away with it, but their offense is nothing to tote about either. And so that being said, is it possible to still win the division? Yeah, it is. The thing that sucks is that on this show in particular, we've talked about, last week when I was talking to Gregory, the Vikings fan, who's like, oh, gotta make sure Aaron stays healthy. Right there. But, I mean, it's so disappointing, and it's heartbreaking, honestly, to go from talking about a team that could potentially get home field advantage. We had an amazing win against the Cowboys. We're at the very high of the season, and now we're talking about hopefully we can make playoffs. And that's a big hopefully. I mean, I hope that Rodgers is okay. It's also heartbreaking because that he doesn't have a ton of years left. I mean, even if the guy has 5 or 6 years left, this is just another year in which, he's not going to be able to make it to a Super Bowl if he's out for the season, which I honestly, if you got my take on it right now, I wouldn't be surprised if he missed it. Not that he doesn't want to play, but the fact that he's already broken his collarbone, I mean, I don't think it bodes well. I'm not going to pretend to be a doctor. I'm not going to pretend to be an expert like a lot of other people are. But if you had to get my take on it right now, I don't think Rodgers plays the rest of the year. And so, instead of giving up and being like, well, my Sundays just got free, I mean, you got to have a little bit of optimism that the Packers aren't obviously going to roll over and die, and they're going to do whatever it takes to go out there and be as competitive as possible. So, who knows? We might see the return of Matt Flynn. He knows the offense really well. He was able to lead us to some victories. I'm not giving up on Hundley. He threw 3 interceptions. But the guy had no offensive line. He wasn't getting any help. The run game couldn't get anything going. And again, he's not practicing with the first string guys. He's not practicing with the starters. He's practicing with the scout team. And so the McCarthy and the coaches will make sure that Hundley is ready, and they will give him the best opportunity to succeed. And I hope that he's able to do well. I really, really do. But this is depressing. And obviously it is for a Packers fan, but from an NFL standpoint, it just makes the league a little less fun. And to watch Aaron Rodgers play is, one of the best parts about being a Packers fan. And now we don't get that, and that's pretty disappointing. So, I mean, what do you think? I mean, are we throwing in the towel? I'm not. We're gonna still do the show. We're gonna still rock and roll on Thursday. We're gonna have our interview with the Saints fan. It will be a little bit more of a somber tone, but yeah, we're gonna rock and roll with this. and just hope that Rodgers can make a speedy recovery, and the Packers, they can get into the playoffs potentially, and we'll see where things go. It's still very early. I know there's going to be a lot of like quick decisions and reactions to this, and I'm trying to remain slightly optimistic, but I have to say today hurts. Today hurts, and it is going to be not as fun of a season as it was panning out to be. So that's it. That's all I got to say about that. You could always find me at TomGrossiComedy.com. That's TOMGROSSI Comedy, or Tom Grossi Comedy on Twitter. Packcast, Packast. You can check us out. We're on SoundCloud, iTunes, YouTube, Google Play Music. We have 2 episodes a week, including our predictions episode, which comes out every Saturday. Let me know what you think. Sad day for Packers fans, sad day for the NFL. And let's just hope he gets well soon. So thank you so much for watching. I need a drink. I'm Tom Grossi, and as always, go Pack Go.